Hello, welcome back to Real Talk, and today we have a special guest. But before we introduce her, in case you're new, my name is Kelsie Cobb. I'm the Officer of Media for CBC, and today we're here with ShainRae to talk about the story behind Red Ribbon Week.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shayna Doherty, and I work with CRDC and the state of Arkansas with a program called Project Prevent. My team of 4 covers all of eastern Arkansas from the very top to the very bottom. We enjoy doing programs within the schools, and we educate on anti-tobacco, anti-vaping for grades kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. My last We currently are planning events for Red Ribbon Week towards the end of the month, as well as we have monthly events to cover what the theme of the month is. So next month we will be hosting a smoke stamp out tobacco day where we will be hosting a barbecue and educating the community with free food as well as education materials for cessation and the harm of tobacco on your body.
Before I start, Ms. Black, how do you say this guy's name? I know it's Enrique Kiki S. Is it Camarina? Camarena? Enrique Kiki S. Camarina?
Camarena. Oh, he was born in Mexicali.
Yeah.
Camarena. It's
Camarena. Camarena.
but
Camarena.
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 Yeah.
Enrique Kiki S. Camarena was born in Mexicali, Baja California, Mexico in 1947, not in the U.S. His family immigrated to Calexico, California, which is where California and Mexico meet. Kiki attended and graduated from Calexico High School in 1966. Right out of high school, he joined the Marines. When he came back to Calexico, he became a fireman and later a policeman in 1970. He joined the DEA in 1975 as a narc. In 1980, he transferred to Guadalajara by request. And in Mexico, people were smuggling cocaine. So, in order to fix that, they came up with an operation called Operation Godfather. In 1984, a Chihuahua marijuana plantation about 12 hours away from Guadalajara was destroyed by Mexican soldiers who were informed by the DEA, who is assumed were informed by Kiki. He brought down a lot of people in cartel throughout the years. He and his family, especially his wife, knew things were getting bad. They were planning to move away to be safe. And on February 7th, 1985, Kiki was abducted a few blocks away from the American consulate by 4 armed cartel members working for the Guadalajara cartel, forced into a Volkswagen. This was run by 3 men. I don't know how to pronounce their names. They'll be posted or something. But he was tortured for 30 hours. His body was found on March 5th in a small town about 4 hours away from Guadalajara behind the Bravos in plastic. He had broken ribs and his skull was punctured with rebar. He was presumed dead for at least 15 days. Him and his family were scheduled to move to San Francisco 2 weeks after the day he got kidnapped. His high school in 1985 decided to, in his honor, do a Red Ribbon Week. The red ribbon to them was to live a drug-free lifestyle for Kiki. The organization picked up the idea that with the red ribbon and later started to do a National Red Ribbon Week in 1988, which is now what we know today. So, what do you think?
It is an incredible story. I love that the work that he put into to help make changes because of what he witnessed when he was in Mexicali as well as Guadalajara. I fear that we are not being as diligent as we could be in the year 2025. We have access to so much information on the internet that oftentimes we can get misinformation. And part of his job with the United States was to provide positive information. And though it was a sad situation, honestly devastating that it happened to him, the positive that came out of it, the honor that they gave to him of creating the Red Ribbon Week, all those years ago that we still hold up today. I just think it's incredibly important that he worked so hard to get drugs off the streets, and now we can honor him today, where every October, it's typically the last week of October, we will celebrate Red Ribbon Week. And what that typically looks like is people like me who are in the substance abuse education and prevention field. We make public education sessions to provide that type of backstory and to provide not only the warning and prevention of substance abuse and the dangers of tobacco and vaping, we also provide cessation information. So if this person has already started using substances, vaping, smoking, any of those types of things, we have free programs that are able to provide cessation medication. The reason we have those programs is because that man fought so hard and worked with the DEA to provide us that outlet, and the honor that he was given with Red Ribbon Week, he has created lasting change. And it's so unfortunate that he was unable to see it. But I think the fact that, again, in 2025, we are still living that truth and providing the information that he fought so hard to make sure was public, it's truly incredible. That was definitely a man of the people. He cared about our youth and the future. His death was absolutely tragic, but his legacy lives on, and that's just truly incredible.
I completely agree. I feel like it was an amazing thing that he did to try and stop everything. Um, so, what do you think you would have done if you were in like Kiki's family and in their situation?
Oh, that's so hard to say because it was such a different time. But if I had to imagine myself in those types of situations, I think I would still be as passionate as I am about substance abuse prevention. Through lived experience, I have seen the dangers and the devastation that substance abuse can do to families. And unfortunately, he saw that as well, but on a much bigger scale. Because he was down in Guadalajara or Mexicali, he was unfortunately able to witness the drug cartels and the large movement of very dangerous substances. And I think that that was part of his passion. I myself feel that same passion because I see what it's doing to our communities on a local level as well as on a national level. And I would hope that if I were in that situation, I would also be working towards a positive change like he did.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like that is a great response. So, for our viewers out there, what is your perspective on Red Ribbon Week? What is its importance to you?
Honestly, Red Ribbon Week is probably one of my favorite weeks out of the whole year that I get to educate our community because it's such a push to have these education sessions. October is always filled with these really fun activities and sessions that we can do with kids as young as kindergarten, so we can really get started early on substance abuse prevention, all the way up to high school, where the teens who have maybe made decisions that unfortunately they don't want to keep making. With Red Ribbon Week, it really allows us to provide that information on such a wide scale. And again, it's not just the prevention, but also recovery that we're able to provide. So I just think Red Ribbon Week is just an incredible holiday celebration. I'm not exactly sure how we would qualify it, but I definitely think that it has its place in our schools, and I look forward to it every year.
I love that because I genuinely love Red Ribbon Week so much because it's a great way for the community to get involved and for people like me who are young and are in school. It's a great way for them to actually see the impact that drugs and other things make on like our community. Speaking of drugs, how do you feel like drugs influence the bad things in our world?
That is such a deep and complicated question, and I don't want to give a surface level answer, so I will speak specifically on the field that I'm currently in, which is tobacco prevention. I think that the substances that are already out in the world obviously are dangerous, but I think social media has a lot to do with it. And I don't just mean the apps on our phones, it includes TV shows, the books we read, it has de-villained. What would be the word for that? It has, I want to say vilified, but the opposite. De-vilified? That surely can't be right. Goodness. It has made substances so casual. We're seeing it in all types of media, and unfortunately it's so casual. You just, their vape is just sitting in the background. There's a pack of cigarettes, there's maybe an ashtray, things like that, that we start to normalize. Our youth are being exposed to substances on a air quote cool level and not realizing the dangers that come with it. So they're getting false information, which again, Red Ribbon Week gives us the opportunity to provide truths and education. But the substances in our world, I think they just, with addiction being a disease and something that is truly difficult to come out the other side of, it has lasting ramifications, not just on the person who's using substances, but typically their family as well. Not even just the emotional things that happen to our family, but the physical dangers as well. Everyone knows that there's secondhand smoke, but unfortunately, we don't have a lot of education on thirdhand smoke. Some substances, other than tobacco and nicotine, can be passed just through skin to skin contact. And not a lot of people who use those drugs know that. And so they're unintentionally putting possibly their family in harm, which, again, we just really love the ability to educate our youth, get it started young, get them interested in sobriety and understanding the dangers of using substances before your brain's developed. Unfortunately, the frontal lobe doesn't get developed until 24, 25 years old. And it's so scary because the decisions we make before we're that age can have lasting changes. And adding substances to your body, you're making permanent changes to your brain, and you are taking away from the success you could have. Your potential is diminishing, and in a way that you're making that decision. So let's switch it up and let's start making healthy decisions. And it's not a good decision, bad decision. I don't think we need to qualify it like that. But when we are educating our youth, I want them to be able to make informed decisions in not just their area of life of substances, but for the rest of their lives. So this early education is not just about substances, but really opening students' eyes to making informed decisions, because there are ramifications to every action. And all I want for the next generation is success and health and positivity and longevity. This next generation is going to be a bunch of movers and shakers making a lot of progress. And the earlier we can educate them, the more benefits that this country, this community, on a grassroots level of just this town, all the way across the entire state or even country. So it is really important to start this education, because we will be able to make lasting change.
Yeah, for sure. I thank you so much, ShainRae. I just have one question for everyone listening. What did you think about Kiki's story? How do you feel like it impacts your lives? And how do you think that by showing young minds about like Red Ribbon Week and its importance, like how do you think that affects our world? Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Well, out of my brain, like we say, like this, yeah, like what is it? See you next time on, and then we say real talk. Okay, ready? We'll see you next time on Real Talk.